Yeah, Ankasa, yeah, legend.
I'm super excited about this ginger chips. Ain't it a whoopee, a ginger chips at me power chow. Say, and yet my pay ginger chips, dear. Eh? And then I worry. And it is something say, you were in powdered form like this. Ain't it so we will be all pay green tea to send me a near me green tea and I may be a gum. Na se me pese me munch on something so any me saka no na marry. Would you wouldn't share no? Google about a ginger and you see the health benefit of ginger. But need just some say the organic honey and I come and I get mappy ginger chips myself. So America, it comes in a pouch like this. Into more American yina mubitimi afre
862-215-2007.
Good. Ofra you be deliver ye dia more kama. So wo Ghana nso a me patch ofre
0277-609-644.
Macpe ginger chips dear OBA here.
Okay. Please, lawyer, I would like to find out, since the demise of Daddy Lumba, have you been following the legal issues and all what has happened before the news that we are about to discuss about his will? Have you been following it?
Yes, it is a legal matter and it is of interest to all lawyers and it's of interest to all married people. So I followed it. I will not say keenly, but I'm very much aware of what is happening.
So far, what are some of the legal things as a lawyer you've picked out from this whole Daddy Lumba issue?
I think the most significant one is the fact that he is married in a polygamous way. That is, he has more than one wife. And secondly, he did not write a will before he died. So there are legal issues surrounding his property that would be shared or how it should be shared, as well as the fact that he being polygamous, what are the legal implications? These are some of the things that, in terms of the law, one will be asking and one want to understand.
Okay, so as it stands now, the court has declared that Lumba had two wives, and if we are to talk about the sharing of his estate, is that going to be in contention?
One, both wives have been confirmed to be legitimate or legal. It simply means that the law will protect both of them. So when it comes to the sharing of his property, the law is there to guide as to how it will be shared.
Can you take us through the procedure? How is his property going to be shared according to the law?
Thank you for that. In Ghana, if you want to go back to history, it was such that a lot of people were disadvantaged, especially when it came to women and their husbands, in terms of when the husband dies and then what is left of the husband's property, mostly the family will take over and the wife will be left with nothing. So as a result of that, the government saw the need to protect women. So in 1985, the government came out with a law, we call it PMDC Law 111, 1985. And that law to take charge of or to guide how property of persons who die without a will be shared. Remember, if you die without a will, we say that you died intestate. So that law is called Intestate Succession Law, PMDC Law 111. It's to provide a uniform and equitable way of sharing the property of people who die without a will. In fact, it's about inheritance. So what happens is that if you die as a man or as a woman without without a will, then your property is shared first, taking into consideration your immediate family. immediate family here comprising your wife or your husband, we call that couple, and then your children. So these people will first be in charge, or they will take your chattel, your house, and then whatever that is left, then it is shared in another ratio or in a formula. Now, if you die in that case where you have two wives, it becomes a bit complex, but it's still the same principle. He has wives. So the houses that those wives are staying in, if they belong to that Lumba, the court, if they go to court, will likely say that they should maintain those houses, and then whatever that is left will now be shared according to PND's law 111. And he says that if there's a surviving couple, then the couple and children will take up to 55% of the remainder of the person's property. Remember, I said that if you die without a will, first, your house or the house that you were living in with your children and your wife, those ones will be kept by the wife and the children. So whatever that is left, the excess will now be shared using a particular formula. That formula is that the first 55% will go to them again, will go to the wife and the children again, or the husband and the children again. And then 20% of that will be given to the other family members, and then the rest will also be given to the larger family. So it's a clear formula for sharing property, whether you leave a will or not. If you leave a will, yes, that means that you have told the whole world that if you die, this is how your property should be shared. In that case, nobody has power to vary your last wishes unless they are not in consonance with the law. You don't have a will, then PNG law 111 will now fall in place to ensure the equitable distribution of your wealth. Remember that the emphasis is on your immediate family, not to make them worse off. They must not be disadvantaged.
Okay. So it's whose duty to gather all the properties of the deceased? Who is supposed to assemble all his properties and to know, okay, that Lumba left 5 houses, 3 cars. It's on whose responsibility is that?
So when you die, your property cannot be charged. Otherwise, you fall into, or the person who started will be cited for what we call intermeddling. Intermeddling is a crime in our law. So what you do first is to go and take letters of administration. In this case, that Lumba did not leave any will, so they just go for letter of administration. And the people who must take the letter of administration is also stated by the law. First, your family, your immediate family again, your wife or children. If they are not able or they are not there, then it comes to your parents or your larger family. If that is not there, then it falls now to your personal representative. These are the kind of people that can go for letters of administration. Now, if you go for the letters of administration, if you apply to the court to take letters of administration, the court will require that you list all the assets that the person had at the point of death.
Okay.
Yeah, that Lumba's family or his wife, if they can come together and do it, they will do it, and his children. If the wife cannot even do, his children, they are not fighting each other, but they're the same family, so they can come together and go and take the letters of administration.
Okay. Okay. Now, Dad Lumba is a musician. We all know. He has a lot of intellectual properties. How is that going to also be shared among the family? Who is going to take or who is responsible to take care of the intellectual property, and then make sure that maybe his legacy will live on with us? Who is supposed to do that?
Well, intellectual property, like you mentioned, is also property of the deceased person. So if the family is aware of them, it's all part of the property that they will leave as his self-acquired property. But if they are not aware of it, it becomes a big challenge because in that case, you cannot do much. If that lumber, for example, has another house somewhere that nobody is aware of, you can't do anything about it. So whatever they will leave to the court in taking the letters of registration will not include that house. It's the same thing. There's intellectual property and all of that. If the family or the children or whoever that is going for the letter of registration is not aware, they cannot include it. But when they are aware, they have to include all of them to say that this is what the man was worth when he was alive. And at the point of death, these are the properties they have, including the intellectual property and how they should be shared. Remember, the intellectual property is also just like a company share. The death of the person does not mean that they will die. They will continue to generate income. So they are all part of the person's property.
Okay, my last, before I let you go, we've heard that Lumba had a lot of children with other women. Is the law going to capture those children and then maybe the mothers of these children?
And we don't have illegal child. As long as you are a child, you are a legal child, whether out of wedlock or within wedlock. So they are all part of that Lumba's children. Even if that Lumba had written a will and excluded them, they would have still applied to the court to be included, and the court would assess that, will assess that. So they are his children, they are entitled to inheritance. They are entitled to maintenance from him or from his property or his estate. So they are all part.
What again are we supposed to know before you take a leave of us about the law, about this whole issue? If you have anything to share with us or any advice, you can give it to us.
What I want you to know is that for those other women that we have the children with out of wedlock, they may not share in his property in that they are not married to him, but their children will share in his property. And if I want to advise, I advise that in you acquire property and you know a point in your life, you need to write a will. That will help you. Otherwise, you will go and create more chaos as your legacy. And remember, there's something I needed to talk about that I didn't talk about. In terms of the property that that woman has, in sharing them, they also look at those that he acquired with the first wife before the second wife came in. So those ones, the first wife, the second wife will not share in them because they were there before she came in.
Okay, very critical point.
So basically, if your listeners listening well, I would advise that they take their will seriously. Otherwise, they will create more chaos as their legacy than they intend.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Rashid Hussaini. God bless you. For a year, Branimni, a year, Lawyer Rashid Hussaini, I mean, it didn't come up. Tiawa Efa, a year, Daddy Lumba, and Tia Yenya said, why, a year will be unto Honum. Alpha, the Japadie, any near my Ujay. Yembre no, I been to they say me by channel 5 minutes. Eddie, ama a year, my pound for one sana. Ya wrap up. Okoto. Yeah. Okoto utie. Na wati bi. Say still Lumba in your will. Minute lawyer so akasa. Ede na o beka from.
Sammy. We share interstate law succession. 1985. PNDC law 111. Sammy Kangano. The second reaction. One of your Bob Branasi Rubia, Nebuchadnezzar Pamono. na ye friend nkurɔfo bi wɔ faase wɔnyɛ adwuma tawole da wɔn kɔn ho ɛsɛ na wokɔ no wɔte fufuo ase a wɔhwe w'anim mfifiri abɛyɛ bucket baako wɔnyɛ adwuma because wɔfa wɔ hɔ wɔfa wi a me na me di nade nti wohwɛ saa PNDC law na 1985 no 111 no bi twa saa nneɛma anim nti imprempren no obi wi a ɛyɛ mmara na ɛkyɛ agyapade na ebio ɛyɛ wɔn a yɛfrɛ wɔn next king me kan me so me obi next king wo so obi next king ɛna obi nso wo de na yɛ next king ne nkyerɛ sɛ onipa ko no wi a ana bibi tu nipa na wo na wo di na dio wo na wo yɛ point of contact nti wo na mmara no ɛbɛkyerɛ because normally ne yɛhwɛ nipa agye ne di yɛ na yɛ next of king nti wo na mmara no bɛfrɛ wo na wakyerɛ bi agyapade wɔ ha bibi sɛ wɔ ha bibi sɛ wɔ ha nti ɛyɛ mmara ɛwɔ Ghana na yɛ de nti sɛ tete no nti sisi an wɔfaasefo no nyina start yɛ adwuma so wɔn because obia mbebrem enne ne yere ana ne mma na bibi mbewu na wɔmfa wota ngu kon ho emegye agyapade mmɔ so ɛno nti no ne ayɛ mo yɛ no sɛ Lumba engye agyapade a enye we ne bi nsi da
wanya wela agyapade di
wanya wela enye we ne bi nsi da so what you say nti mmara no bɛkyɛ ne pɛpɛpɛpɛ sɛ ne yɛti bia na even po so ja will mpo a na yɛhwem ne yɛhu sɛ wo na kye a ɛno nso yɛtimi de kɔmmara nim ɛteɛ no nti so ja will so wanja anya issue we dey anya issue kura
but that's it Ofagochi Lumba
well no dey council bit me dey kitu aka me pacho video evidence so ejitu ana bo ha bia wa video ato ma ya capture to say me wa ma di we see if you paper there no and come home that can't do no educate me
is accepted with in the presence of a legal practitioner. Even the written one currently you should add the video to it because BBC na kobale say obi temper with it. The video evidence could help you deal with the temporary. And yes, you could do that. You need it.
Maybe the video example. If you see you once you hire or if I was in the area or I sign back, but a bit hard. I sign you trust oh. Say. You know, Patan we see Diana. My contribution didn't go. The new the goose so changing and I'm toy have some of the blocks. But the second wife, you know, didn't call court. Well, court we can say down to which you have to be a bar. But if you know, Obama any the money enough, down. But I said I don't like any property of my father. The papa with the pin. The crime is a seek out the quite some I don't know. A my yin back, I give a cry because I am yes, I have said. Tell me, see, I'm your shell, to my contribution. At least, and your commitment there 45%. You know, no, contribution, I'm the man who could get you on the any. But I, the also call about you. I don't know, don't shoot this back. Some of the same can you see that one way today. I never knew. But maybe I'm going to Scabian of the money piano, and I didn't go to be a don't receipt in the so they don't want to compound issues. But I mean, say yes, and I ain't to train me. Yes, by the problem, but wait, it's unfolding your use. My Babusa question is can we admit video evidence?
Yes, you, lawyer. My first counselor said, yes, go check your lawyer.
Yes, Bibi confusing me. Say, Lumba, ebe na yi ne uncle no wafa say Lumba chro ne we mu say owu a me nkata nani me ndi ne nkata nani engu ni veil na waje afi lawyers no ho nti na omo practice the will like ne kuma so ade nti afi de Me krati eche se one throw wheel crowd. Na me say mudi e won he. Ina busia penyin gina so edi ye man.
The Lumba catcher ne man, Anna, ne man walk.
And this has some ne one can't check something. O catcher ne ma some kata ne man.
Or send a man, no man about the battle war. I had him on the one of our
catcher and so we and kata ne.
Son on a busa penny and their canyon. Eh?
And feel will.
Recent interview I hear me this year, a few days ago, or say none a man or and a Lumba cancer. It means it's not a written document.
Well, Sammy, lawyer, especially very simple. If you die intestate and you have just one wife, the challenges are limited. But see, Anna, yen to me and clear properly. Say Lumba was married to just Mrs. Akusa and had children with Odobroni and the rest. That is where there's going to be a problem because the Elena na Omokakojino to list the number of properties they didn't name say Elmudiano. Okoyeno, the last judgment on that Lumba's demise and the wife ever up. So when I felt disappointed, say, among chain, we appeal the issue so that we are able to clearly state her status because the current status of Mrs. Agusa Sewafosu is still in contention.
That's if the Omoko appeal now.
They are praying for the appeal.
But for now, what's a stance they say Lumba in the year two?
Thank you. It's a statement. It means the woman is divided into two. Because on the document of Germany, she is the only wife of the late Daddy Lumba. And she's carrying herself as such because it was in Germany that she went to the marriage registry and then declared that henceforth she is no more going to use her maiden name, but she will use the husband's name. Until on the cat on fact from Koya a chile say our DNA gunti ya man ni maiden name. So ni passport ye booka German for the man e wo mu se fosu empo han mo judgment no e fosu na waso and obi fa fosu to ni din so it means say why a declaration that I am a wife to this person. And in Germany they practice one man one wife. So that contention is here. So say ene Japadi chair ba e see a sheni clear that appeal so that you say clearly the judgment of her leadership and Mrs. Zorinda Atade no ama Odobroni hu kwan ma no no so adane yire no den because the lawyer ni can be say a bad intestate for dear ye wale ne kan go yan wari omu nyina the same time baku ye 2019
19 but
yes where Odobroni say wari in 2010 and a Lumba Yeri Peninsula according to Papa Shiv the 91 was 81 81 it is a share property that has been acquired by documentation from 1981 up to 2010. After 2010 but then a Lumba because anything will be shareable. They will consider what you came to meet as a second wife per the judgment. Okay. Will it serve any purpose? Majority of them can say this story is going to be something else. But I wish that Akosia Sewafosu Mrs. will pursue because her split personality is worrying me. That our Germany, she's addressed as the wife of the late Daddy Lumba. Once she gets a visa to cross to Ghana, a judgment is waiting for her to say, Onye yiri, ena. Onye yiri ba onye no kwa ena ye yiri and ordinance. It is say you pursue I want the appeal. Then this thing will happen because Lumba want your will. There was a lot of conversation. Am I a say a bimusio who will watch you. But not to make a sense. It's all time, Miss because Yaman is here can do so.
I know said this is a issue. Yeah, we have a lot to say. Binoska. I'm telling you. I join in. So Binoska, we there, Breno. I Brena. Lumba is since me to say, yeah, come by car. Well, no, I say, how do you see?
I see it as very simple. Charles Kojofosu want your will. And there are people who are claiming, such as Kojofosu will. Now, say, if a lawyer tells you, say, Charles Kojofosu will, now lawyer knows very well, say, this law to be able to be recognized by law, no, I should deposit it with the High Court. Now, it tells you, say, it is not true. So what I see. Now, Lumba is under PNDC law 111, interstate succession law, section 5, subsection 1A. Or says, Obiwu Nase one Trowella. You see, there's a difference between death wish, Obi Owu, Nakuma Swadi, and I will, Nyamisu, Susa, Miniwa, Yen, and only a different. This is 1 year and no, not a wish nor wish here. It is say you to a wish. It's fine. It is section 5. Section subsection 1A or say the Japadi and the Bechem Ama Neyere 18.75%. And Nema Ebenya 56%. Neno Wakasa ne Babaku Nimenina instead that the Lumba Ewo Tena ye betcha 10 in mum equally good. Yo Nefi Nebusia. On also the bush and 12.5%, 12% almost benya into a nipa 4. A yere, Emma, a bushia, any kind of saying customary law, which is a bushia for. These are the 4 categories. Or say a mom. No, a property that the Lumba acquired alone. It is so no be joint property. It doesn't come here. Yes. No, it doesn't come in because Semino I Japade with business partner. Mean to me, Cassette, many went to only a better Japadena, that has to be split. I said, and your own quache, why by law, no, and not if you ever with this kind of formula. I'm telling you,
and come over do see a come. Producer,
including his music properties.
It said the soldier, producers, directors, Omudi Ja, Eja Gumito, 7 abo. Yania Chrono. Thank you for being part of this show. Of course, Mitinemu Mami of Apenini. Ajimai Prempe Ajingo. Madame Penny Fuase. Koche Okoto Binoska. And then His Excellency. Lawyer, Counselor, Reverend Dr. Lustrons.
The aircon is a time or so, but I say. We have Afromax Plus. It's all for me. Maybe now for bomb 0277 609 644 no man come with the can only be shut up.
So that's it. Abuja for showing Dan Latte and a producer here, Megas and a border chief dom. The technical producer Edem. TV crew no from camera to MCL, let's talk educational consult here, Damase. Best one here, Damase. That's a net, your best neighbor. A beer, now of an neighbor. We did the Samuel Usasare, wait for friend TP clan, Samir Rasta, me feel for you now from a rep. That's a net, your best share you. Papa. Are you hearing?
Yes, we're there. Sorry. They say they are put their time with their and they are praying. That's also no call you or put down time about. Discussion almost like chapter 6. And then on that, a okay to move on Quantina, please. Drag it, so by. It's either to run with them. What is unfortunate? But oh, see, that's my TikTok. Well, the truth will be let out of the bag. If you are not a wife and people connected you as a wife, we can be a message be if a brand TV or so public show on Pedia Medina Braboyan 2020 so person dinda. Mate, Mammy say more one way or don't two muso Monkai say. Now look, say Lumbo your property here. Because radio station in your money crack, because what's kind of anybody Baya Bay. Why, Sadibaba, my name? Show, see me. Assassinate what is legal. Can't bend your toy. Now, yet, the rumor says, I dine and Casanet say you see hotel. Then you see. Assassinate your toe for school news. One sicker any toy. Kaswa 20 plot to said, say, alleged, one sicker near money in it. Hey, really, yes. Now, Mrs. Akosa say, what for Sudia? What done a dang? I said, about me, a year nedgeman, no, this can be a Bemasi and from Bob Brand. A book room was still an hour. Men can't send me a more or double me, and then you busy. But be a general book on the mystery. A be a general book on and come away. Charlie, and I am Shishenam, but TBD, a lawyer and a kind of tea earlier. Or see a baby, Lumba will be a Benyan Chaffa. Hey, yet TOBC, and Lumba is so intelligent, he's so secretive that he will not die without a will. It's alleged that a certain lawyer even came at Chile. Como fetch
so yeah, Star Boy. Star Boy.
I remember that it's even alleged that at the point in time a certain lawyer made a statement that Luma has a will. Yes, he said it. Yes. Whether it's a will or a wish, only God knows. Oh, it's a lesson for the rest of us. I didn't want to discuss this will matter. I said it honestly. I am not too fine with Mrs. Akocha Sewa Fosu's LA because I want the appeal to end. Because I remember they say Lumba has a will. The videos are there. So what we are having now that the High Court is claiming that there is no document that has been lodged, from the late Daddy Lumba showing that these are his assets. Hey, where are we heading towards? As for the children of Lumba, they will take everything they want. And all the baby mamas will take their thing. But the law is so sweet that you cannot share what you share together. What you own together cannot be shared. What you and your wife has acquired cannot be shared to other people who are not part of the acquisition. I've said it that I don't believe that Odobroni came into Lumba's life because of properties. For that, I don't believe. I'm quenching my taste. And I know there's funeral. That Lumba sneeze, and then nephew, Matisse the bush and I am asking questions. What will be the state of Odoboni? The children will be taken care of, but the 17 children must be taken care of. The sweet part for Odoboni is that her children are young, so by the law, those children who are in school will have more than those who are grown-ups and they are working. And also another thing, we've not learned anything yet. But if Lumba died interstate, it's disappointing. But I want to repeat myself. The soul of Lumba is testifying in the realms of the spirit that he never married Odoboni. But he knows he has children with Odoboni. And Odoboni knows that she was not married. She knows. And those who testified, it's alleged that they know what the truth is. And it's alleged that they only wanted to set a certain negative precedent. It's alleged that they were told to say each other sleeping dogs will lie. That is where we are today. Right now, my problem is Mrs. Akosa Sewafosu is a Mrs. in Germany and is a polygamous wife in Ghana. How? One human being. One human being. How is this done? So let's pursue the appeal at the appeals court, so that clarity is brought into the life of Mrs. Akosua Sewafosu. Hence, all these things will align. Because if we end up finding out by virtue of the appeals courts revisiting of the judgment of her leadership, Mrs. Dorinda Smith-Artis thing, that it was not entirely true. Well, said yeah, lawyers there's no authentication and all the process that must be followed if the appeals court grants that yes, her leadership was right because of what facts she has. But per further deliberation, an opportunity has been granted to Mrs. Akosua Sewafosu and Lawyer Kusi to bring more further evidence so that they will bring clarity to bear that one woman is Mrs. Fosu in Germany and she is a polygamous woman in Ghana still writing Fosu. I want that ironed. Now, I think that Odobroni will understand what is going on, because in an interstate session and the division that has been made, the two wives will only have rights over what the husband acquired. What did Lumba acquire alone? Can Odobroni pinpoint them? Is it a pure water factory? Is it a radio station? Is it a school? Is it a new land he bought? It's alleged that there's a land in Kaswa or Dodua somewhere that he was going to use it for school. So Odo Brody must be able to tell us what she knows that was acquired from 2010. So anything that was acquired from 1981 to 2010 by the alleged marriage, I get what I'm saying, by the alleged marriage, cannot be part of their alimony or the interstate sharing. It is straightforward that this was acquired by Lumba and the wife, and they have to find a way to distribute that first before they come to what he acquired alone. So out of what both of them acquired is when it's shared, that Lumba's own can be shared for the children and then the next wife that came into the scene. Well, the story has just begun. This time we are learning too much of legal things. The story just started. And because the story just started, we want to learn more about what has started. And as we go into learning more about what has started, I promise you, we will come out with a true verdict of who really has lost or has gained. I think maybe Lumba didn't know he was going to die soon. Maybe. But it's a lesson to the rest of us that even if you own one ceiling fan, either you give it straight to who you think deserves it, or write a will on it and lodge the will. Because as we speak, the law court doesn't have any will from Lumba. Per the letter you all saw, the letter is circulating wild. That there's nothing like a will that Lumba has written. So the 54 will be shared. But what are they going to even share if he has any of them? The properties we hear Lumba's name is on it, or the asset we have heard is a radio station, an alleged school somewhere, the house in Taifa, in the house in East Lagos. This should have not been the story of Daddy Lumba. But it's a lesson to the rest of us. Mrs. Agosa said, so relax. In your relaxation, remember the things you did with Lumba, not sure at all. Ma, Shana Rain Phoebe, men pray, men fat a buffon yet, men far a one yet, men being so be back as Uber pray in Japan, may Phobia. Ma, men feet time, because that's a waffle, men feet time. But not as yet. To was it, not the okay in a yippee. To was it, go pray one betty. Utia de Minguasieva, and to was it. Mrs. Akosia Sewafusu, to was it. Dear Wunim, I won't kai, Fife Chicoin. Because men pese, Ubaya listings, maybe now I say sorry. No. And don't just say Odobroni bebre, because if you know Odobroni timwe day, Mrani si baby I know you didn't tell. So who na who da ben consider intestate. Sa baby I'm not telling honor better. But baby I'm not telling you any yeri penny dia. If there's anything to write to about by the law that were passed or the judgment that were read, media. Makam Yechrem. I want the appeal to go on. Mrs. Akosia Sewa for Super Baby, please pursue the appeals court. That will be important to all of us. So that your hard work is appreciated. so that your hard work is known by virtue of what you have done. Ma, this is a princess office. May God protect and guide you. May God keep you out of the reach of the evil one. As we live, may we know that you are in charge of our lives. Thank you so much for your patience, Ma. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Princess Officer. And for you, Odobuni, thank you for watching us. I'll see you.
Yare yo, yare yase. Obi benya one fi yare. Yamfa yare nso nya nipa. Sichire yare ni no. Sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy, we are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055-000-5077, 055-000-5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health and Support. Help us with the diabetes equipment, glucometers, wheelchairs, old clothing, new clothing, financial support, and let's give it to the needy. Thank you for your support.